Craziness in college basketball, of course. It's March Madness. Teams are getting eliminated nightly now on their march to possibly getting into the tournament and, of course, cutting down the nets as a national champion. Now, we don't get that excited for regular season NBA action, but sometimes we do look and say, you know what? This is why sometimes people like to stay away from the NBA in the regular season. Case in point last night, the Golden State Warriors, 125, the Milwaukee Bucks, 90. The Bucks came in as one of the hottest teams in the NBA, including winning their last game without Giannis Antetokounmpo, where Damian Lillard stepped up and dropped 40-plus points. Wow, look at that. They're exciting. Maybe they're rounding the corner. Doc Rivers has the ear of the locker room, and they don't even need Giannis to win basketball games. I didn't think Giannis was going to play yesterday, and also in the FanDuel Sportsbook here, Davis, we take a look at a 4-point line in this game, which did move back down to -2.5 on word that Giannis was going to give it a go and the Achilles was going to be fine. Giannis Antetokounmpo played 33 minutes last night. The Golden State Warriors got beat by 50-plus points in the TD Bank Garden in Boston just days ago. They returned the favor on the Milwaukee Bucks, 125-90, absolutely stomping them. If we take a look at the starting lineup, Steph Curry had 29, Draymond Green had 12, Kuminga had 20 points, and the bench was even filling in as well. Golden State, an easy victor over the Milwaukee Bucks, Davis.
Easy victory, and I thought the line for this one was like pretty bizarre. Looking at things last night, we had Golden State favored by 4, and I was like, something is not right there. Obviously, Giannis was listed as questionable for most of the day. Then Woj tweeted that the team was optimistic that they would have him available for this one. He does end up playing. Obviously, you would see the result of this and say, well, maybe he should not have. Maybe this would have been a good spot for him to get a little bit of rest, because he's dealing with now, according to the reporting, not only that left knee tendonitis that has been kind of bothering him all year, but also a little bit of a problem in his right Achilles. Anytime I start hearing about Achilles pain, Achilles soreness, I just think that guy should not be playing, because Achilles are, it's a super long rehab if you end up injuring that, and it's just so sensitive. I am loving this version of the Golden State Warriors playing a lot of these young guys more often. We've got Gary Payton 2 back in the rotation now. Moses Moody played 21 minutes off the bench. And yesterday, this game, it was the first time, Donnie, in the entire season that every single member of the Golden State Warriors has been available. So Paul, Curry, Draymond, Moody, Kuminga, Wiggins, everyone. It was just kind of insane to get to March 7th and it to be the first time that your entire team has been available. And I do, man. I think they are going to end up making a run. I think they get close to getting out of the play-in conversation entirely.
Golden State Warriors 7-3 in their last 10 ball games, now sit at 33-28, which is 9.5 games back of the Timberwolves. Now, we don't anticipate them making a run to the top seed, but what they do try to make a run to is that number 6 seed, which the Phoenix Suns currently hold, and only 2.5 games back. And you're right, getting their team back and healthy could make a difference. Flipping it over and taking a look at the Milwaukee Bucks side of things, they lose, dropping themselves to 41-22 on the season, 8 games back of the Celtics, but in second place now, just ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference. Let's keep it out west here. Crypto.com Arena last night. And I was with you, Davis. I heard you say you like the Lakers. I like them too yesterday. 130-120. This was the Sacramento Kings going on the road and picking up a big victory. Why? You take a look at who was scoring for the Sacramento Kings. How about 44 points out of De'Aaron Fox, which included 19 of 32 from the floor, which is incredible. And Domantas Sabonis, 16 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists, and 2 steals last night, pacing the way here. Nice win for the Kings. I didn't think they'd get, but also more question marks here, Davis, starting to pop up. LeBron James and his ankle, how healthy will he be down the stretch run here in the Western Conference?
It's sort of one of those interesting things that the Lakers, when they won the title in 2020, and then when they got their acts together last year, really it was done defensively. They were just like a really defensively stout team. It's a little bit harder to do that when you literally, look, LeBron is a great defender when he really needs to lock in. He can't do it 35 minutes a night. We're talking about the literal oldest player in the NBA. And now with some of the injuries they've suffered and the decision, they were starting Cam Reddish at the beginning of the year. Now he is a DNP CD every single night. So when your starting lineup has Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and then your first guy off the bench is Spencer Dinwiddie. That's a bunch of minus defenders. Not even average, but like I guess Reeves is actually all right, but Russell, Rui, and Dinwiddie are bad defenders. It's going to result in 19 for 32 for De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. It's like this guy he doesn't even break a sweat getting a triple-double, 16, 20, and 12. And it's just like, well, it's just basically what I do out here in Sacramento. And I kind of feel bad for Fox and Sabonis because the Kings are so much worse as a team this year than they were last year. And I don't even really have an explanation for it. I guess maybe just the rest of the conference is a little bit better, but a pretty big and important win for them because they are now directly competing against the Warriors, Suns, Mavericks, Kings, and Lakers for those like final 4 spots in the playoffs.
Exactly. Take a look at the Kings, and why was that a big victory? Now, they climbed within a half of a game here of the Phoenix Suns to try to get out of the play-in series and into the top 6 seeds here. The LeBron James-led Los Angeles Lakers, which, again, that ankle injury left a little bit early yesterday, so there'll be some question marks with him over the next few days. The Los Angeles Lakers in that 10th seed spot. The only good thing for them is they have a 5.5 game lead over the Utah Jazz that are 2-8 in their last 10 games, so I don't think anybody's going to push from that bottom. Jazz, Rockets, Grizzlies, Trailblazers, and Spurs, obviously, to get into that top 10. And maybe the Lakers could be resigned to that 10th spot and say, you know what, let's just get healthy for the playoffs here with LeBron James. That might give us the best chance at it. Let's keep it moving. The reason why the Los Angeles Lakers aren't sweating dropping out of the play-in series is the fact that the Utah Jazz can't get out of their own way, and they are injured. By the way, the Chicago Bulls went on the road last night as 4.5-point favorites, won the game against Utah, but did not cover. I like what I'm seeing here out of this starting lineup, Davis, for the Chicago Bulls. DeRozan, Vucevic, White, again, 29 points, 23 points, and 25 respectively. They pull out a victory on the road against the Jazz, a much-needed victory for the Bulls now, looking to make a charge here in the playoff run to try to maybe get themselves out of the play-in series.
I don't think they can get out of the play-in. I don't know. The Bulls are the most just like, I guess this is the team that we are. They're just going to be the 7, 8, or 9 seed like every year in perpetuity. DeMar DeRozan is a free agent after the year. They're probably just going to re-sign him to like a neutral contract. They're going to run back the DeRozan Vucevic experience. I suppose Zach LaVine will not be on the team next year, so maybe that'll make things a little bit different. I do like the Caruso DeSumo backcourt, the issue being neither one of them is a really particularly effective scorer at this stage in their careers. They're both like insanely good defenders. I would love to see Caruso on a good team. I would love to see DeSumo on a good team. Like DeSumo for the Lakers, it's kind of an interesting one. If he was in the backcourt there with Austin Reeves, that would be pretty interesting. It's a win that the Bulls had to get. Don't know if you could grade this as a good win. The Jazz are like, not only have they traded away half the rotation at the trade deadline, but they are out 4 of their starters. They doesn't happen very often. They did actually start a guy last night, Donnie, that I have never heard of. This Bryce Sensabaugh character could not have picked him out of a lineup. I do remember Luka Samanic from his time with the San Antonio Spurs, but this is like a super thinned out rotation. They had to call up Johnny Juzang from their G League squad. The return of Omer Yurtseven, the former backup center for the Miami Heat, is getting in there. Like, I actually like this about the NBA when we get into true silly season. Some of these teams that are not trying to win, you'll be like, is that the right guy? And you'll remember a guy from 5 years ago who's playing.
Yep, just got to fill out those rosters here down the stretch you go, which includes 2 teams here missing superstar players. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. How about the Hawks? A 112-101 victory over the Cavaliers, who just days before had an unbelievably impressive victory over the Boston Celtics. Well, they drop a game back here, losing by 11 points. Saddiq Bey chips in with 23 points. Bogdanovich, 23 points also for the Atlanta Hawks. 18 points by DeJounte Murray. Not a great night overall here, only shooting 22% from three-point range are the Cleveland Cavaliers. They dropped this one here, but a good win for the Atlanta Hawks, just trying to hang around till Trey comes back into that lineup and maybe make a playoff run here.
Yeah, I've been betting on the Hawks in this little recent run without Trae Young because I actually really like this lineup that they have where it's all tall guys. The shortest guy on the floor right now for them is Dejounte Murray at 6'5". It's just like a bunch of wings out there with Capello. Bruno Fernando is out there. Like, I guess the smallest guy in their rotation at all is Garrison Matthews. I mean, I like the concept of an Atlanta Hawks team that actually can play competent defense. Now, we'll see, what ends up happening when Trae Young gets back. The defense is probably going to go in the gutter immediately. And, this will probably be the last version we ever see of this team, because it sounds like a lot of the reporting is that the franchise has soured on the Murray-Trae Young backcourt pairing. They're sick of kind of just being this middle. They're sick of being the Chicago Bulls, but in Atlanta, which is really what they've become since that appearance in the conference finals 3 years ago. But, we'll see. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're like everyone's favorite team. They had that run where they went 18. They won 18 out of their last 20 games. But right now, they don't have their stud point guard Donovan Mitchell, because he's got this tendonitis thing going on with his. It's not good. It's not good to be heading into the stretch run and not have the best player on your team.
Just trying to hang around to get that seeding here. You take a look at the Washington Wizards, talk about in the gutter, 9-53 now in the season, 3-26 at home after a 10-point beating by the Orlando Magic. And you might find yourself saying, like, okay, that's what the Magic were supposed to do. The Magic were down 20-plus points in this basketball game and absolutely rolled the Washington Wizards. We talked about this game, handicapping it yesterday. It was just so simple this. Orlando wants to win and needs to win for the playoffs. The Washington Wizards could care less about winning at this point, and case in point, played decent basketball, then tanked at the end of that ball game here. Win by the Magic, good for them. Let's talk NFL offseason moves coming up next right here on the Early Line.